Darlene.
Hey, Libby, how you
I
doing?
usually say Kevin E. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even notice.
I don't know. And we've got my good friend in the studio today, Ken Capps. And he is also with Matt Hillier of the band 1100 Spring. But they're going to have some fun things to talk to us about. Ken is my old buddy and from our single days.
That's right.
In the mid-'80s, we met through, I believe, Young Republicans and Innovators.
Yep.
We had a lot of fun together.
Yes, we did.
And Ken worked for Channel 4 as KDFW. He was a reporter. Then after that, Ken went over to the airport and was in charge of public relations.
Yep.
So he was in this building way before we ever were.
Right.
But listen to hear him out before the show.
Exactly. But Ken's first job at DFW was on 9/11. I remember that. You know, you told me that, and I was like, that is fascinating. What a day to start a job.
It really was.
I mean, did you just live at the airport during that time?
Pretty much.
Yeah. That was just unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's a whole other show.
Yes, that's another show.
But you really could write about that.
Yep.
Do you love film too, Ken?
Absolutely.
Because you asked me a couple of years ago to come see, and I didn't get to. I ended up seeing later that show about documentary. Well, it wasn't really a documentary about University of Texas shootings.
Yes, Tower.
Tower. That's so good.
Yes.
It's kind of done almost in cartoon. I don't know what you call that style.
Yeah, you know, it made it all the way to the Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And
It did?
yeah, and just missed the cut in documentary. It was right up there with the OJ documentary.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I think I read that. Well, we'll talk later about films because that's my passion. That's fun. And Matt, we're so glad to have you here. And
I'm glad to be here too. I love films also.
oh, you do? Okay,
sure.
good. And so does Kevin. We've got a room full of film lovers.
Yes, absolutely.
But
So it
Ken,
brings us all together.
I know we have so much fun every week. But Ken, tell us about why you're here, the event you're raising money for.
Sure. Well, and of course we've got a film involved.
Right.
I mean,
That's why you're here.
That's
Yeah.
why we're here.
Yeah.
And yeah, Libby, I do remember those old days, back in our single days. It's a long time ago, but still very memorable in my. I was thinking about that on the drive over here. So
We became good buddies.
yes, we did.
I tell my not grandchildren, but great nephews and nieces, and can you believe I have great nephews and nieces, and my nieces and nephews now, that time in my life was the most fun time in my life because you have a job and no responsibility but yourself. Didn't y'all love your 20s?
Yes.
I wouldn't want it to be that way forever, but it was a fun little selfish time in my life.
Yeah, Dallas in the 80s was a interesting place.
Yeah.
Fun place. But anyway.
Okay. Tell us about your event.
Right. So I'm here with the Dallas Historical Society. The Historical Society's mission is to preserve, protect, and collect Dallas history.
Right.
But it's also, part of its mission, is to preserve and protect Texas history. So, one of the things that we're really interested in is talking about the history of Texas honky-tonks and dance halls, because they are really disappearing all over the state.
That makes me sad.
It does it makes everybody sad because they are part of our culture.
Like Gillies, kind of, would you consider that?
But I mean,
honky-tonk?
going back, back to the 30s and the 40s.
Exactly.
And so they're disappearing all over the state, big cities, small towns. And so we thought this would be a great idea to bring awareness to the community as well as have a great party. So our event is called Honky Tonk Heaven, and we start off the event with the great documentary called Honky Tonk Heaven, which is the story of the Broken Spoke Dance Hall
in Austin.
Down in Austin, Texas.
Right.
Texas Monthly has called it the best honky tonk in Texas.
That's so fun.
And when you see the documentary, it's wonderful. I mean, it's like taking you back in time to the 1960s, back before Willie Nelson had braids and a beard, when George Jones was playing at the place.
Has Willie Nelson played there? These people, and they're all in the documentary.
They're all in the documentary. Jerry Jeff Walker, Willie, Dale Watson, who's now a big star, and we wanted to show what people what honky tonks are all about. James and Annetta White, who own the Broken Spoke, are going to come up here for our event.
Oh, fun.
Do a really fun movie Q&A after the show. The Dallas Film Society is working with us on this. So then after we show the film and have fun with that, we turn it over to Matt and 1100 Springs because they're one of the best honky tonk bands in Texas.
And Matt, you play all over Texas. Do you play outside of Texas too?
We have. We played outside of the United States. We've played in Europe some, and we basically wherever they will have us.
Are you out on? Can people find your music? Or do you have a? Well, it wouldn't be a DVD, a CD anymore.
We've got all that stuff.
You've got it all. So
Yeah.
how can people find you? Just
1100springs.com.
Okay.
And that's with numbers and not letters. But
I wish I could go to the event.
well, I wish.
Come
you could,
on.
too.
I know I'm hosting a wedding party that night because it sounds like so much fun. I love the Historical Society, and I love that y'all meshed these two together. Music and the Historical Society. Did the film? It won something at South by Southwest, or it was featured there?
Yes, it won fan favorite.
Oh, well, that's a very good sign.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And in the story, it really, it's a documentary, so it's true.
Right.
Which I love documentaries.
Uh-huh.
And, you see.
They're my favorite.
Exactly. And you see how, what a real Texas honky tonk is like. You're walking straight back into 1964 when the Broken Spoke came to be. And you see James and Annetta White. This is a mom and pop operation.
Yeah.
And as James likes to say, what keeps the Broken Spoke open? Cold beer, good country music, and plenty of pretty girls to dance with. So that's what you need to run a great honky tonk.
But like honky tonk music, is that basically Western music? Isn't it the same thing? Or is it bluegrassy? Or what? Is it a different kind of music?
I would say, yeah, there's a different twinge to it. To me, because we consider ourselves a Texas honky tonk band.
Okay.
It's a band that would play someplace like the Broken Spoke or someplace where two-step dancing is a big deal, which leads to probably more shuffles and old school country music, and sort of the like of Merle Haggard and George Jones and things like that.
Old
all the way
school.
back to Bob Wills too.
I love the two-step.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of coming back too?
Oh, gosh, yes.
It's so fun. That was something we did in the 80s too, surprisingly. Early 80s.
Well, that's the other great thing about this event. It's, see how we're dressed?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you come to the event.
Which is so fun.
You don't have to be all dressed up.
No black tie.
No black tie. Just come in your jeans and your boots and your hat, and you'll be good.
And the money raised goes
To the Dallas Historical Society.
And so if people want to get tickets, how do they get tickets?
All they have to do is go to dallashistory.org, and there's a big box that says Honky Tonk Heaven, and they're right there. And we're really looking forward to the event, and especially having James and Annetta up from Austin, and then the film's producer Brenda Mitchell's going to come up and be part of the Q&A as well. And she's got a lot of good stories, lots of good war stories
about things that happen there.
Oh yeah.
Well, it takes place, as you said, at the Hall of State, which is a neat building itself.
Right.
Down at Fair Park.
Yeah, down at Fair Park, and really. One of the things that people have been kidding us about is we have valet parking for the event.
Yes.
There's not many honky tonks that offer valet parking in the state of
That's
Texas.
true. You need it there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you featured in the film, Matt? You're not.
No, I'm not.
They should
but I've
have
played
gotten-
there quite a bit, over the years. I think the first time I ever played there was probably about 14 or something like that.
Where are some other honky tonks you played?
Oh, man.
In Texas, a name that I might know.
Green Hall, which is more of a dance hall, really. If you want to talk about, it's such a weird thing, because I guess honky tonk applies to most of them. It's a pretty blanket sort of title. But then there are others that are more dance halls, and then there are others that are just beer joints.
What is in Dallas?
Well, you got in Dallas proper, not too far from here, the 8 Air Saloon is kind of where we got our start. There was a place called Naomi's that's no longer there anymore that we used to love a whole lot. And there was another place that we really used to love that was a good honky tonk called the Three Teardrops Tavern.
What about Sons of Herman Hall?
Sons of Herman Hall.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's there again. That's a lodge hall, so it's like it's got the music room and the bar upstairs.
I love the whole look of that place,
yeah.
the creaky floors. And what about Gillies?
Gillies is
Is that more to country western?
No, it's not. It's that's really at this point. I think Gillies is kind of to me more of just a venue.
Yes.
It's not going to specify any particular genre. It's just if you want to go see a show there, that if it's somebody who can sell the tickets to put the people in that room, then they can go to Gillies.
But you know what's coming back? I'm not sure when it's going to reopen, but the Longhorn Ballroom downtown.
Ooh,
You know, with
that'd be
the
good.
gigantic Longhorn out
Yes,
front.
Yes.
And you know, when the place closed a few years ago, I talked to the owners to see if I could buy that Longhorn to put in my yard.
Oh, I love
Because
it.
I wanted it so bad, you know,
Yes.
being a University of Texas fan and everything.
yeah.
It looked great in my front yard.
Yes.
But of course, they weren't going to sell it.
No.
And it's really going to be great. They're rehabbing it right now. And when that place reopens, just right down there in the smack of downtown, that's going to be awesome.
Oh, that'll be so cool.
Yeah.
You'll have to play there.
Yeah, there's a lot of history to that. That specific building actually used to be owned, I think it was called the Ranch House when it first opened
Yes.
up. It was owned by Bob Wills. So there's just a whole lot of history with the Longhorns. I'm really excited
I wanna
to see
go to
what they're
that.
going to do. Yeah.
Well, you said that you got engaged at the Broken Spoke. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
Well, that was...
Now, why is that? Because you love it?
Well, yes, my wife and I, Laura, we love the Broken Spoke, and being a native Austinite, you know, trying to be the romantic guy that I thought I was back in those days. I was trying to figure out something interesting and a different way to propose, right? And so Gary P. Nunn, who, you know, one of the legends of Texas country music, I asked him if he would help me with this endeavor. And then James White, who we've been talking about, the owner of the Broken Spoke, I got those two guys up on stage. Somehow I convinced Laura to drive down from Dallas. She's a native Dallasite. She said she figured out that on the way down that I was up to something and everything. And but anyway, I got a proclamation from Governor Ann Richards in 1992 that said whereas and wherefore, and at the end it said, "Will you marry me?"
Wow.
And so that's how I proposed.
You know everybody. These connections. Wow.
But it was really, really fun, and
Did she love it?
she loved it. Thankfully, she said yes.
Yes.
And James still kids me to this day. He said I was the first person to ever serve champagne in the Broken Spoke. I had to bring in my own champagne. I had to import champagne into the Broken Spoke. That's not generally on the honky tonk menu.
That is so
And
funny.
yeah, so when Molly Nolan and the crew over at the Dallas Historical Society asked if my wife and I would help with this event, it's a labor of love.
Yes.
And the fact that it's going to be so much fun and just be a real down-home Texas event.
love it.
And again, it's raising money for the Dallas Historical Society.
Which is
so.
such a great cause. I
Yeah.
love to keep our history alive in Dallas. We've got such great history. What is their other fundraiser? It's a luncheon, isn't it?
Yeah, they do a luncheon. Of course, they have a lot of different people coming out and doing book readings. Again, the stuff they've got over at the Hall of State
Well, you know,
is just amazing.
I actually did on my show a little walkthrough. They had the Taylor Swift exhibit.
Yes.
The Hall of State had. They've got some cool stuff there. That was so much fun. So I know we need it. Everybody needs. Our city offers so many neat things.
Well,
it really
think
does.
of it this way: it's registered as a Texas landmark, and there's only 3 Texas landmarks in the state: the Alamo, the Capitol, and the Hall of State.
Wow.
So that's pretty good company, I think.
That's real good. That's so fun. Well, you're so good to chair this event, you and Laura, and you getting to play with your band.
I'm
is
looking
so fun.
forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be good to see the Whites as well.
Oh, gosh. And you haven't seen the film, have you?
I have.
Yeah, I saw a little clip of it. We were going to try to pull it up, but we didn't get in time. But it looks really good.
It's really good, and there's a lot of good music in it.
Yes.
So it's that's the other thing. The way Brenda Mitchell and her crew shot it, there's just so many good concerts in it, and people will see so many of their Texas favorites. And there's a great interview with Willie.
Oh,
you know, and of
he's
course
hilarious.
Of course he is.
Everything he says, I'm just like, I love him.
Every time he opens his mouth, he says something prophetic. You
Oh
know?
my gosh, it's hilarious. Well, the filmmakers are Texas filmmakers.
Absolutely.
Which I love supporting Texas films.
Yes, Wild Blue Yonder Films.
Okay, that's great. Well, we'll look for them. Kevin,
Yep.
I haven't let you say anything. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Do you
I'm
have
just
anything to
listening,
add?
just enjoying. No,
You know what it makes me think of? Kevin and I have talked about this show before. It's the worst, best movie, Roadhouse. Have you with Patrick Swayze?
Of course.
That wasn't country music, but boy, that Roadhouse. That's such a. It's so bad, it's good.
Yes.
Like I have a few friends. They're mostly guys and my husband and I that whenever it comes on, we text or call each other, and we're like, "It's on."
Well, that's one of those movies that, if you're like on vacation, you're sitting there in the hotel room and you're flipping around channels,
You can't
and it
stop.
comes on, you have to stop everything.
You have to watch it.
I think we should do an entire episode just on those kind of movies.
We do. We want to do a show about movies that are so bad that they're good. Wouldn't
Our
that be
fiddle
good?
player can recite. I think he can probably recite the entire movie.
Who can?
Roadhouse. Our fiddle player, Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan Henderson.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So you have a fiddle. We'll wrap it up here in a minute. My brother-in-law is in a bluegrass band called Blue Stem, and I go listen to them. But I always tease him. I'm like, "You play the fiddle," and he's like, "Well, not really the fiddle. It's the mandolin."
Oh, love the man.
I mean, are they kind of the same thing, really? I guess.
Well, they're
yeah.
totally different instruments, but the
Yes.
the strings, are the same notes.
The only thing I have a problem with bluegrass is there's usually no singing with it. It's just instrumentals, and I like to have a. You're the lead singer of your band.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, there's lots of great singing in bluegrass. It
Some.
just depends.
Their band doesn't do as much singing, but
Okay.
it's
Can
kind
you
of
believe he went to Booker T. Washington?
Well,
did.
that too. My niece isn't there. I'm so
Oh,
impressed
cool.
with Booker T. I mean, the kids that go there. That's a
That's
big
a great
honor. That you
place.
must be very talented that you went there. I mean, they only take the best.
I sort of slid in under the radar.
When the people that have come out of there, we have some famous folks that have come out of Booker T. So that is so wonderful.
It was a great experience for
Yeah.
sure.
Did you-
I loved it a whole lot.
I
Yeah.
know, isn't that neat? I know. You might look into that for your daughter. Does she have a gift in something?
Yes, she has many gifts.
Yeah. Just one of many. Well, y'all, thanks for tuning in. I mean,
Thank you.
being here and
Thank
everybody
you.
for tuning in. But tell our audience again
Absolutely.
how they can, both of
Well-
y'all, tell them how they can find you.
Come to, if you're an 1100 Springs fan and you want to hear a great concert, then you got to come out next Saturday to Hall Estate. It starts at 7 o'clock. And of course, the film starts at 7. These guys come on after the film. We're going to have the great Q&A. So it's a film thing, it's a music thing, all about honky tonks. And just go to dallashistory.org, click on the big Honky Tonk Heaven box, and the rest is taken care of. And by the way, we do have honky tonk libations,
Love it.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Lots of nice drinks and honky tonk food. So that's all included with the price.
That probably includes barbecue.
We've got some
Yeah.
really good food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. And they can find you again. How
At
you're
1100springs.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us individually on Instagram. We're out there. We're not hard to find. You know.
Oh, that's so great.
We love to talk to folks. So.
Well, I'm so glad y'all came. Best of luck with this event. I think it's going to be great. I'm so sad I can't be there.
Well, skip out on your wedding party and
I
just
know.
come on over.
I may be later. I can't because it actually is over at like 9.
Well,
But then will we be able to see probably on demand and iTunes and stuff? We'll be able to buy the movie later,
Oh yeah.
so we can.
I can.
rent it
Hey,
somewhere.
if you want a copy of the movie, I can get it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna. People will want to. I'm sure people will be able to find it on VOD or whatever.
Well, if you go to brokenspokefilm.com, they've got it there too.
Well,
Oh, okay.
we want to watch it
That's
because
good
that's
to
my
know.
favorite kind of film. Well, thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Can
Libby.
we go to like just a little short break?
Yep, I
And
already
then
got, got some music going.
Then we will come back and talk about some more films in just a minute. Thanks. talk about A Quiet Place first.
We're back. We only have
We
a
are
couple
back.
minutes left.
Okay, we're going to go quick. Okay. A Quiet Place, Kevin.
That's the only thing I've seen, and I picked it last night because you recommended it over, because you were seeing Blockers, so I went and saw that.
Okay, so I put on Instagram that night, I've never done this before, but before I go Friday, I love this movie so much. I have to tell y'all right now how much I love it. And I didn't say anything but I was blown away. Now, I don't think you were as much as me.
I was. My only complaint is that it was too short.
It was too short.
It goes by incredibly fast.
No, well, I think that's kind of good.
Well, that's good, true, for a creature feature. It should be kind of short.
Because you are, okay, it had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now it's gone down to 97, but come on, that's
still
perfection.
Yeah.
Y'all, I see everything. I see 3 movies a week. I'm not even that huge of a horror fan. I'd say more this is a suspense thriller, almost science fiction.
Yeah, close.
Hour and a half film. I saw it at a screening on the edge of my seat, chill bumps in my head and arms. It's not scary in a scary like serial killer scary because it's aliens.
Right.
It's fun scary.
It's also very emotional on like a family level.
Oh, that killed me. That's a little rough. But they kind of had to do that.
I mean, plot-wise, should we explain that?
Yeah,
kind
explain.
of? I mean, well, it's I think it's not distant future. It's like the year 2020 or something.
Right.
And the Earth is dystopic or been overtaken by these creatures, these aliens that should I reveal what they look like? I don't think it matters. They show pretty. They're like arachnid type spider things.
Look like alien, kind of.
A little bit, yeah,
Yes.
but more legs and
Right.
I don't know.
Horrible teeth.
Yeah, but they have extremely sensitive hearing and they're blind, so that's how they hunt. And that's people who survive can survive by being extremely quiet.
So at the whole first, you'd say 40 minutes, everybody's quiet.
Everybody's quiet. Sign language.
Yes.
Is the only way they can communicate. This family that survived, which is
And their
John
daughter is
Krasinski and
deaf.
Emily Blunt, and their daughter. Yes.
Yes. So John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, who are married in real life, star in it. And John Krasinski, this is his directorial debut, and he's one to watch.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive for a directorial debut, and I thought that Aaron Sorkin was impressive but this is better.
I mean, did you love it?
I did. It's one of those where I'm still thinking about it, but I loved it. I will definitely go see it again.
People are like, why are you promoting a horror film on social media? Why did you like it? I'm like, y'all, it's scary fun.
It's a creature feature. That's the only way I can think of it. Like almost in the sense of some of the old kind of science fiction films that people.
Well, and it was different. I haven't seen anything like it in a while.
No.
My only thing, if I did have one criticism, is at the beginning, they could kind of give you more of a backstory about the aliens and Earth.
And what had happened.
But they didn't have to.
And the aliens are somewhat like the creatures in The Descent, only because they're blind and they can only pick up on sensitive hearing. Like that idea.
They've copied it kind of.
Kind of copied it, but they look nothing like that. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm going to let that slide.
There's a couple things that feel like they're maybe stolen from other films, but and then there's other ways that it's such a new idea.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. I just loved it.
It's incredibly intense.
Well, I saw it with a full house, and at the end of the thing, everybody, because it kind of ends well, people were like, oh, and then they started clapping. Was your audience pretty receptive? Or
no clapping, but it seemed like everyone,
liked
had a triumphant feeling towards the end, especially considering that early on in the film, I don't want to give too much away, but they do lose a member of the family, which directly impacts the emotional well-being and the relationship between the parents. So that's
what about her getting pregnant?
Aspect,
like,
that's a big part of it
moly. Too. Okay, well, we don't even have to do.
And there's lots of really creepy, odd scenes that are very clever and creative, kind of like I know these are spoilers here, but one character, or you see a guy, not one of the main characters, whatever, commits suicide by screaming.
Yes.
Basically, just to get the creatures to kill him. And I'm like, that was a really eerie, creepy part of the film.
It was good. Was it a full house when you saw it?
Pretty full, yeah.
Full, yeah.
I don't know that every seat was packed, but yeah, pretty full.
Well, it's so good, but do we even have time to do our rating?
Oh,
Nah.
Yeah, no, we can absolutely do the rating.
I want to get out of the way. This is live.
I know. We had guests earlier, so we're trying to shift things around. I'm guessing we're going full popcorn.
Total popcorn worthy.
It's kind of weird with the 97%. It probably should be Oscar worthy, but I don't know that I would.
Well, here's the deal. Get Out got nominated. I mean, this is as good.
Way better than Get Out, I thought.
Completely.
Yeah.
I totally, if Emily Blunt could be nominated for her because her portrayal, you're just like, I had chills. Okay.
Get Out was far more underwhelming, I think.
Exactly, y'all. It's good. It's good stuff. Okay, second film. Now, Quiet Place is going to have some competition this weekend. I feel like I'm yelling. Sorry, I'm so excited.
No, you sound good.
I haven't been this excited about a film in a long time. And I know you wanted to see it because you're a young guy.
I did, but for some reason, and I don't want to sound mean or cynical, but because it was John Krasinski directorial, whatever, and I watched it, I thought it was kind of going to suck.
Yeah.
And it was the exact opposite. I was so surprised when you posted it. I'm like, okay, now I really want to see this. And then, I go to Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone's like crazy about it.
No, it was so good. But this one, I know you're gonna want to see Blockers.
Yeah, and at first I didn't want to see this because I don't John Cena. I can't take serious in any acting role. But after I saw the ratings for this, I was like, this looks pretty good.
89%, and it's got darling Leslie Mann and Ike Barinholtz, who was in Neighbors. He's so funny with those funny teeth.
Yeah.
But it basically is about some parents stumble upon these kids' social media stuff while they're going to prom, and it's like a one night. Operation. These parents are trying to not let these girls, they had made a pact to lose their virginity, and the parents want to stop it. That's why it's called Blockers.
Right.
And it has something else in front of it that they
Right,
say.
a reference to, yeah.
But here's the deal. It has a couple of points in it, like that I say, like Bad Santa and stuff, where it's a little cringeworthy. It's like over the top a couple times. You're like, oh, did you have to go there? But
yeah, it's not funny. It's just gross, kind of.
it's a little much. Only maybe once or twice. But otherwise, completely hilarious. Highly recommend.
I'm so glad to hear that. One, because I love Leslie Mann, pretty much, and that's because she's Judd Apatow's wife, and she's also great in comedies. So
she makes the film. She's adorable. And since I have another daughter about to go to college, these children that they're after, trying to stop, are all about to go to college. So there's this whole thing of, you're sad and happy, and
right.
And I think a standout performance though is this Ike Barinholtz. He's really cute in it.
And John Cena does not ruin it?
No, he's kind of funny.
All right.
His big, beefy body kind of got on my nerves.
It does seem kind of weird, right? Like, no dad looks like that.
No, but
it's like Arnold, it being, any Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy.
Right, but it's good. I give it completely popcorn worthy.
All right.
There we go.
Sorry your head's in the way this week.
That's okay.
We had to shift a lot of things around in the studio.
That's why it's fun to go live. But that was a lot of fun. I guess we need to wrap it up, but thanks again, Ken Capps and Matt Hillier, for coming in and talking to us about Honky Tonk Heaven and their fundraiser for the Historical Society, Dallas Historical Society. And y'all go see Blockers and A Quiet Place, and then we'll see you back here next Friday. Thanks.